Welcome, everybody. This is D Durrell broadcasting from the D Durrell sector and also broadcasting from D Durrell, the rebirth. It saddens me today um, to do this particular content. Um, saddens me to talk about the passing of RBR Network. This is the second time that this year that I had to speak on someone who's no longer in the sector. Um, I like to say that I've been knowing RBR for some time. He was a fixture in the manosphere sector. I've been knowing RBR since 2018. Very opinionated, very educated brother who has worked and has a great deal of experience in public media, broadcasting, network television. He actually worked for BET at one time. He has a host of information, host of knowledge that, frankly, the manosphere sector or the black sectors in particular didn't take advantage of. I was not aware that RBR was sick and I think he had cancer. I do know that he was up in age, he was in his 60s. I understand that RBR, he had different things going on in his personal life. And so I'm here to give my condolences to his family. Shout out to Cyber Lion right now that is on his channel. I didn't know that he was a moderator or supervisory type moderator on his channel. And he's holding it down for him right now. And he communicated with everybody and broke the news that he passed away. And so what I want to do to commemorate his memory, his goal was for all black content creators to have the ability to capitalize off of the money that should be made by black content creators. He felt like YouTube was exploiting and taking advantage of black content creators and we're not paying us the money that we should have been compensated for. When RBR first came into the sector, as far as I can remember, his channel has always been informative. He always came off as controversial. He spoke on his journalistic experiences. He spoke on his network experience working for BET and other forms of media. See, he's old school media. And so he lived in a time before the social media, because social media basically killed journalists. And it killed true journalism. And there's no such thing as journalistic integrity anymore. Now, anybody with a camera, with a phone and a camera, think that they can get up and they can report, they can, get in front of a camera and say what they say and perform and, present themselves in a certain way. There are people who can present content that is network quality, at least from a optic standpoint, not from a professional standpoint. And so RBR talked a lot about the issues of journalism and mass media, social media, network television, the economics of it. And then as he continued to do his content, and he is also pro-black, and he also talked about racism. And that's really what gravitated me to his channel, because he was pro-black. I'm a pro-black Pan-African. He's pro-black. And his content was for black people. He didn't dab into the gender war BS. He came from his own perspective. He never compromised his integrity or his content, his stance on anything. He was very consistent. And so I'm just doing a short video. I'm not going to be on too long, but I just wanted to kind of do a short live stream to celebrate the life of RBR. Now, RBR, he could put on a show. RBR was one that was very theatrical, very controversial. He was saying all the craziest stuff. He was very entertaining. He could go off. I remember the bouts with RBR and Queen Mayette were classic. Now I don't know where Queen Mayette is at right now. I know she's on Instagram doing a whole lot of stuff. She's on Instagram, just showing all of herself. But shout out to Queen Mayette. She was also very entertaining and she had good content. And Queen Mayette and RBR had some classic one-on-ones against each other constantly for ages. And so I didn't know he was sick. I didn't know he was struggling with a lot that he was struggling with, but physically and stuff, all I know is that being terminally ill didn't stop him from coming on YouTube. Being terminally ill didn't stop him from being as enthused about every day doing content, creating content, quality content. He seemed very energetic. He seemed excited. He seemed stimulated. He loved the engagement. He was consistent in his endeavors. And he did the best that he could. And to be honest, he didn't get enough support. And unfortunately, it's the content creators like this. That's why I don't put a whole lot of stock in numbers as far as good content creators don't always mean you drawing numbers. There are tons of good content creators that don't draw numbers. And at times he didn't draw numbers. And see, just like the fact that I'm talking about this particular content, I understand that this particular content of me talking about RBR is not going to draw numbers, but it's necessary. So shout out to Femi with the smoke. Shout out to Outwest Timbo saying, "What's up, D Darrell in chat? Damn R&P Unc, or rest in peace, Unc or RBR. Living Life said, greetings, D Darrell, listening in. She said, rest in peace to RBR. Conscious Energy said, D Darrell, the Godfather, salute. Conscious Energy said, D Darrell, did you get your It's a Kerfuffle merch in the mail today? No, actually, Conscious Energy, I'm glad you spoke on that. I got a notification today and yesterday saying that it's going to be here on Monday. They did tell me it would be between Saturday, as early as Saturday, no later than Monday, so the 26th. So I'm expecting to get it on the 26th. When I receive it, I will go live and do a product review on the products that I bought and purchased from you. And to be honest with you, it looks good. I can't wait to wear it. What's up, Slewfoot Slim? He said, rest in peace to the brother. I followed him for years. What's up? The one true troll, life of a Grandmaster troll, Kenneth Thomas. Living Life said, condolences to RBR family and friends. What's up, keeping it plain? He says, salute. Is this true about RBR? Yes, it is true. RBR did pass away. Right now, the family is taking donations. I don't know what type of economic status he left his family, and things of that sort. but they are taking donations. And if anybody would like to donate, you can go to RBR's channel. And I think Cyber Lion has a link in which you can donate to the family. So what I would like to do is at this point, I really would like to showcase a video the last time RBR was on my channel, which actually was around October of 2023. Now, he's come to my channel a lot, particularly if I'm talking about YouTube, demonetization, things of that sort as it relates to AdSense. If it's something that relates to how YouTube treats content creators, RBR would come. Now, if I talked about some other different things, he didn't want that type of content. And we were supposed to do content together. We never ever got a chance to do the content. And I blame myself for that. And so we take life for granted. We talked several times. He came to my channel and I come to his, and we talked about one day talking more about, the lawsuits and different legal things that need to be done because content creators are getting, exploited because we're not making the money that we should be making, and they're hiding views, they're hiding subscribers because the subscriber counts, according to RBR, were not reflective of people who are globally watching you. He stated that they only counted the views and subscribers in certain hemispheres or in certain countries. And he did legal work, and he had legal representation, and he talked about how people, as a community, we need to come together to make sure that we get paid, particularly as a monetized entity, the money that we're supposed to get paid. TNBN stated, I remember the recent live where Cyber had to send cops and paramedics to break in and to get RBR to the hospital because he was choking. Yeah, the brother did content to the end. And I really think maybe, I'm not going to get into the bargaining as far as the stages of, grief and everything. But as a therapist, I definitely want to, I want to get into that realm of the shoulda, couldas. But it's obvious to me, I think, that RBR was doing content as a way of being productive, as a way of just coping with his illness. And he had to find something pleasurable to engage in, and YouTube fit that. So as a result of that, he did content to the end. He did content till he could no longer do content anymore. So I'm going to show some content as it relates to our interaction. We were actually talking about the monetized channels, the end of BS content. I was speaking on when YouTube was making its round to get rid of very controversial, crazy content like Cynthia G, Tommy Sotomayor, very polarizing, toxic content. And so RBR and he came up and we had a discussion. And it goes like this.
I wanted to talk to you, just ask a few questions, because I know we had talked about setting up. I wanted to discuss something in regards to legally amassing everybody together to actually do something as far as a lawsuit or whatever. I know you talked about things on that line, but I wanted you to kind of share that with the the viewership about that, because when I was watching, I watch you in the car. I don't come down a whole lot, but I know when you kind of went to this type of content, I listen and watch, and it had me thinking a lot about what is actually the real numbers? What are we really producing? Now, you talked about billions of dollars if you look at the whole totality of Black YouTube. So how do you break that down and come up with that measurement?
Yes. Well, I've been in media since I was like 15 years old, working for affiliate stations and networks. And then I went to college and got my journalism degree at the University of Washington. And to be honest with you, when I found out how media makes money, then I wasn't thinking about working for a media outlet. I was thinking about getting my own. Okay. And media makes its money through advertising sales. So Google makes 97% of their income off of YouTube. And the problem that they had when they first started was they didn't have any content. And what networks do, like Fox and the Warner Brothers Network and all this, when they first start out, the best way to build an audience is Black people, because Black people don't have a voice, because the networks are all owned by white conservatives. So Google told us that they would give us 70% of the ad revenue if we left Blog Talk Radio and Ustream. All right. And then we would go to, if we go to YouTube, they pay us 70% of the ad money. And of course they didn't. Then they changed it to 55% of the ad money, didn't pay us that. And now they're talking about if somebody clicks on an ad, then they'll pay you, all of which is illegal, which is why they're getting sued right now in the 5th week of the trial. That's a $100 billion lawsuit filed as an antitrust violation lawsuit by Merrick Garland. What you said at the top is definitely true. We need a lawyer, a Black lawyer, that would represent the 5 million Black content creators on YouTube, because we are a class. The courts have ruled that Black people are a class, right? So I know that it's a mistake for us to think that Google is interested in us. Google did propose, make their pitch to a good friend of mine who started a company called InfoSpace and raised $75 million for his IPO. He was one of my earliest students. And so he was a brother, but he declined. They wanted 25 million to start Google. Well, the racists kicked in the money. But when the racists kick in the money, they want the site to be conservative. They want the site to be anti-Black and to push this myth of white supremacy that everybody's bought into. So what this brother, all heart and grind, is saying is he's attacking me because I'm anti-Google. I don't want. Look, Google's not trying to help. They don't care about you.
Again, guys, this is RBR. Rest in peace, brother. And he's talking about RBR been saying that YouTubers are going to get $90 billion for the next 6 months now. He was very, very diligent on the fact that we're getting, taken advantage of and not getting what we were worth as 5 million subscribers as African Americans.
They care about their shareholders. Now, I told my class, I tell them every day, they did not want us or the advertisers to put ads on our channels. Why? They didn't want to pay us. And they pay you for ads. They don't pay you for clicks. They don't pay you for views. They don't pay you for subs. They pay you for ads. They make 97% of their money off of ads. Okay, so the advertiser spends 90% of their budget on the Nazis, on the MAGA nuts and the whites are superior and all this nonsense. But they do spend 10% of their money on what we call
I gotta say, it is funny when he was calling them Nazis. That was funny.
Black YouTube. And we have to understand that. It's not about beef. It's not about anti-Blackness. You're not going to make any money with that. They do make the bulk of their money off of racists, but racists don't want their racism from All Heart and Grind or Non-Swirl Zone. Racists want their racism from racists. They don't want it from Black people. They hate Black people. Come on, they're racist. So they told Google if you don't put this goddamn $20 billion worth of ads on these Negroes channels, then we're taking our $20 billion and going somewhere else. So Google had to do it. Now they have a dilemma. What happens if some of the black people stop believing and find out the truth that they can't demonetize anybody, that they can't monetize somebody, they can't monetize content they don't own, they can't monetize property they don't own? It would be like some real estate agent selling your house and keeping all the money. They don't own it.
So at this point, RBR is pretty much laying the playing field and illustrating how Google made money, how Google exploited black content creators, how the business of YouTube operates, and how, as a whole, content creators should be making more money. Content creators should come together legally and force Google to pay them the money that they deserve to pay. But he was unable to garner the support. Because, of course, you got people on here think if you don't have a mass amount of subscribers, that means you're not legitimate. If you don't have a number of views, and that means you don't know what you're talking about because people will follow you. No, they don't. The BS on YouTube is what sells. There's so much misinformation and miseducation going on YouTube. It's ridiculous. And if you're not entertaining people or showing graphics or have a certain personality that will draw people's attention, it doesn't matter how informative, how truthful that information is, a lot of people are just not going to watch. And that's just the facts. There are people right now who criticize even myself for content that I create. But I have another channel called Rbr Life Solutions. That's the antithesis of my content on this channel and others. And they don't watch. And that's why when these people say that, I don't pay them much mind. And I know they're full of BS. Because if they really, really wanted me to change, you would support the channels that fit the mold of what you claim I should present myself in, because I do have content like that, and they don't watch it. So I don't want to listen to when I act a certain way, then you claim I should do something different. If you felt I should do something different, you would support the channels that go in line with that.
They can't sell it. And so it's illegal for them to take your channel down. It's a $250,000 fine every day your channel's down. And Willie D didn't know that. So what they're doing...
I didn't know that either.
Well, you can look it up. It's called willful copyright infringement. It's 5 years in prison and $250,000 for every day that your channel's down. So, of course, they know that we didn't know it. Well, shame on us. Now, I know that...
So let me ask you this question. For those people, if it is not, I guess, legal to take the channel down,
yes, it's copyright infringement.
So do I have to go through legal means to get the channel back up?
Unfortunately, yes. But now, when the lawsuit is settled, the antitrust case, and it will be settled out of court within the next 3 or 4 weeks, you won't have to get a lawyer. You can make a claim. But the reason I say we need a lawyer is because it can't just be 1 or 2 black people getting paid. They'd love that. But the thing about a class action is they have to pay everybody who's been ripped off. And that would be all of the black content creators. Every single one of us, from Marcus Brownlee to Tasha K to Cynthia G, all of us. And I was really disappointed. I don't like Cynthia G either. But when Kevin Samuels made his move, when they took the money from, according to Tommy Sotomayor, and I believe this to be true, when they took the $100,000 and the 1 million followers away from him and gave him to Kevin Samuels, right? They gave him 1 million followers and $100,000. Well, when Cynthia G had the baby by Rod Perkins, and she lost half of her Patreon money, she lost about,
oh Lord,
and I remember that bullshit.
she lost about $7,000 a month.
Right. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, me and my wife.
That was minimal. I think she lost actually closer to 10,000, but that's just me.
Me and baby looked it up. She lost about $7,000. They gave her a measly ass 10,000. No, it was 100,000 followers.
What?
Yeah. Tasha K got 1 million followers after she got sued by Cardi B, but they still won't pay her for the ads.
But she filed in bankruptcy though.
But if they had to pay her the fucking money they owed her, then she wouldn't be filing no damn bankruptcy. And the law says that if Google got the same letter that she got from Cardi B saying that she didn't have a venereal disease, then Google's liable. And they got $20 million. They got $4 million. So what I propose she do is get Cardi B to say, yes, I sent the same letter to Google and YouTube that I sent to Cardi B, where my doctor swore on a stack of Bibles that I didn't have this.
You see, this is an example of the brilliance of RBR. This information that he was given, do your research. This is research that you would not hear from any YouTube channel. He educated us on the legalities of YouTube, the real economics of YouTube and Google, and the rights that you have as a content creator. But unfortunately, it was ignored.
Disease. And Google continued to promote it anyway. Be sure to watch Tasha K tonight. She got some dirt on Cardi B, and they were promoting it weeks and months after they got the letter saying this is a lie. So Google is liable for that. And so go ahead and give Cardi B $8 million and keep $8 million for herself and give me $1 million and the lawyer $1 million since I came up with the idea.
Right.
And she'll be
he said, give me $1 million.
Be good. But I might be just saying that in jest. But yeah, giving her 1 million followers ain't gonna help her.
Now let me ask you this. This is a question that I've been wanting to ask you. As it relates to the true viewership globally.
Yes.
Now, because I've heard people say this, and I've heard you say this. Then I've actually heard other people who complain about. They were saying that the viewership that we see on the screen is not the true viewership. It's not actually more than that globally.
Absolutely. Well,
so
if you
how
go
do you measure that, and how do you
Now, this was a topic that I was very, very interested in hearing more about, because what basically he's saying is that the views that we see is probably way more. Like the people that I have in the chat now is really not the true views. The subscriber counts are not the true count. And this is what RBR states.
Determine what you think the true numbers are.
Grooves are. Well, I tripped too when I started doing my simulcast on my woman's channel, right? It always showed 2 or 3 people watching, right? So then they sent me a notice, your woman's channel has reached 75,000 views. I said, no, that's not true. I ignored it for 2 weeks. Then I looked at it and I went to my analytics and I looked at views, and sure enough, it was 75,000 views with 2 people watching. Come on, man. So they're just lying.
What?
Well, here's why. Here's why. They make their money off of advertising, but if they don't get 100 million views per ad, they have to give the money back. So they lie to us, especially if we're doing content that they don't want to promote. If it's not negative, if it's not anti-black, if it's not pro-white, then they won't promote it. But the advertisers love it because we want useful content. If you look at the mission statement of Google, it says take all the world's information and make it easily accessible. All the world's useful information, make it easily accessible. That's the pitch. That's the concept of Google and YouTube. Now the problem is, black people don't want to hear about.
What's up, the cynical one?
Negative content and aborting black male babies and hating and flying the Dominican Republic and getting a white girl for $5. They do not want to hear negative content. We want useful content. See, we see ourselves as entertainment because white people dismisses us as entertainment. We're not entertainment. We don't have a voice. Is why we're here. We don't need to be entertained.
So let me ask you this question.
Enlightened.
So I get that, and I agree wholeheartedly. Now, as it relates to the true viewership, because I notice when I look at my analytics, I see people from Brazil. I got a lot of viewership from India, the UK, certain African countries, and I'm trying to figure out where these views are. I don't see them in the chat. I'm like, no,
they won't go into the chat because the chat's. Well, here's the thing about the chat. Black YouTube, which is the most searched keyword search in the world for Black people, right? And so that's the problem, right? Yes, I might have called you a revolutionary coon, but I think everybody should find out the information first, right? Before they come on. They should find out the truth before they come on to YouTube insulting people because they think that intelligence and education and knowledge is somehow white. Please stop doing that, okay? The education and knowledge and civility comes from Africa. White people are the ones who are uncivilized, uneducated, and immoral, not us. They hate us. We don't hate them. Just pay us our money that you owe us. But no, if you look at your analytics, on your analytics page, then it'll show you, it's a page in black, and it'll show you the actual viewers because they can't lie to the advertisers. They want their money back. They cannot lie to the advertisers. So they lie to you guys to make you think that channels that don't make any money, that just do gossip and hate on Black people all damn day, that those channels are the ones to make the money. They're not. We don't make money by selling Ogun juice and wake and bake mugs and weeds and White Lives Matter shirts.
He said Ogun juice. He took a jab at Tariq.
That's not how media makes money. Media makes money off of advertising. Now, their game is to not pay you for the advertising. So you don't really want to be monetized. Why? Because if you're monetized, they pay you 10%. This is what the lawsuit's going on with Merrick Garland. They'll pay you 10% to 40% of the money that you get. So an example is if Mint Mobile advertises with sponsors Kelly Stamps, they give her $10,000 and they keep 90. Marcus Brownlee gets 28 PlayStations and $100,000 from Sony. They'll give him 40,000 and keep 60. So what they're doing is they're keeping the money, up to 90% of the money there. All right. So this dumb nigga is talking about reparations. Well, you can't get reparations from the country that ended slavery. That's a scam. That was a scam to get Trump reelected by the Russians. So this dumb nigga is listening to the Russians.
That's another thing they used to give me. How he talked about the Russian bots.
So he's saying instead of getting the $100 billion that we are owed, there's no dollar figure on reparations. Shut up.
Facts. That's facts.
There is a dollar figure on getting 4 years back royalties and 30% of our content over the next 10 years. And that dollar figure is $100 billion. And that's money we earned. That's not money from some slavery shit that Great Britain started.
So how did you come up with that?
The number?
What was the metrics? What was the metrics for coming up with that number?
Yes. Now we do. We really actually do. I've heard up to 14% to 15% of a advertising budget is what they call urban media, and that would be Black media, Black YouTube. 97% of the market, Google controls it. They control all the advertising on 97% of the internet. All right. So if we do 10% of their advertising, they did $224 billion last year. 10% of that is $24 billion. That's how much we made in Black YouTube. Now, under the statute, we get 4 years back royalties. That's the law. That's the law. Now, do they want to do it? No, but that's the law. So if we just take 10 times 4, because I don't want to overshoot the numbers, but 10 times 4 is $40 billion. 30% going forward over the next 10 years is another $60 billion. That's $100 billion. Anybody can add that up. I'm not making it up. I'm not pulling it out of my ass. They will do $200 billion next year on Black YouTube. And I'm saying if we get 30% plus 4-year back pay, we get half of that. That's fair.
Wow.
Okay.
Are you there?
Nothing. It's not reparations. Shut up about the reparation. But see, what the Negroes are saying is if the white people give us the money out of the goodness of our heart because we kissed enough white ass, then somehow we deserve it. But if we actually go to court and get what's owed to us, well, then that somehow is wrong. No, it's not, dummy. If people don't want to pay you, then you go to court and you get your money. You don't cry about some goddamn reparations and you got to re-elect Trump. Okay, and he kill everybody black. Stop it. All right, Obama is
This dude was crazy about Donald Trump too.
black. His goddamn father's black. You stupid ass idiot. It's a 2001 Genome Project study. If the father's black, the child is black. You fucking idiot. Don't let them white folks tell you Obama ain't black. Why do they hate him? Because he ain't black? No, they hate him because he's black. Now,
That is vintage RBR Network.
shut up. Kamala Harris too.
Oh, he spoke on Kamala Harris too.
So yeah, I get some of these dumb niggas in my show, and they're hoping that you help them fail in life, but you ain't trying to help them fail. Let's get up the money that's owed to us. We have to do it legally. I understand that the things are different, but go ahead. There's no such thing as mixed. Shut up.
So let's look at it from this standpoint. So what we need is someone that specializes in social media type law.
No, it would be
yes, Chaos Reign. RBR has passed away. Go check out his channel. You will see Cyber Lion informing us of what occurred.
It would be right law.
Copyright law. Okay.
Yeah. So it would have to be an entertainment attorney. Got to be black, man. We can't mess up. It's got to be a black lawyer. I'm trying to get in touch with Carl Douglas or Attorney Crump, and I got a line. So
the hell with Attorney Crump.
So this is going to be now. This is my biggest concern, RBR, and I definitely would like to know your response. How do you think we have going about accumulating data from all the black YouTube content creators to participate?
Right. Well, we wouldn't have to do that, but for a class action, the case has already been filed with the Merrick Garland case has already been filed. When the case is adjudicated, then the one of the things that they have to do to determine damages is find out how much money they made. And for our class, each state, 17 states have also joined the lawsuit. So I'm just saying the black content creators need to join the lawsuit. Black people have been considered and classified as a class. So the civil rights and voting rights, people are a class. So the courts will order Google to show their tax records for the last 4 years, unless the government they prove fraud like they did with Trump. Then you can get 10 years back pay, and we're all going to be rich if that's the case. But 4 years is standard. All right. Now, what happened? My friend that I was telling you about that is working with Carl Douglas and Attorney Crump. She wrote the.
Now, listen, guys. I want to say this, and I want to preface this clear. Listen, I'm here to show respect for RBR. I'm not going to get into how people dislike them as a content creator. I know RBR had a lot of enemies. I know people didn't subscribe to him. They didn't like some of the things, and I know RBR was very boisterous and he had a lot of controversial things to say about people, certain people that didn't like him. But I'm here to show respect to him. So I'm just asking everybody to show respect. That's it. You can have your own opinions of him and say those things on your channel.
book for the movies Death at a Funeral that Chris Rock did with Sony. And so, yeah, so she went to court, and I asked her, I said, well, how did you find out how much money the movie made? She said the judge ordered an audit at their expense to find out how much money the movie made. And the movie made $16 billion, and they awarded it to her. Now, I had Sophia Stewart on my show for about 2 hours.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. So she
Yes, Sophia Stewart, the lady who actually wrote what's that popular The Matrix. Yes, I saw that episode.
She got, they had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Of course.
But she done moved to Vegas. Her daughter got on a $10,000 Rolex diamond watch. She got her money.
Yes, she did get her money. She waited years, but she actually got compensated for writing that movie. It was plagiarized. It was stolen.
Yeah, it took her years to get that money too.
Yes, but she got her money.
Yeah,
and so we don't have to do that work. The lawyer will do that work. And any lawyer will do that. Like I said, it's a $100 billion case. So any lawyer would want to do that. All right. That's a lot of money. And they have the money. They're a $2 trillion company. So we just need that. We need that representation. All right. So
what's the difficulty in, it's not a lot of black lawyers that specialize in that type of law?
There are, but here's the thing. With me, I was 10 years ahead of this case. I was 10 years ahead of everybody. And the publicity from the case, when the case settles, because people don't realize it because they've been doing other things and living their life. So it is a $100 billion case. When the case is settled, I think that the lawyers will be falling out of the trees. But right now, they don't, they don't get it. They're like non-Soros zone and all hard and grind. They just don't get it. So they will, though, when the case is being publicized and it's all over the news, then they'll tell you how to do it. All right. So that's what we do need representation, not for any individuals, because a lot of people are going to try to, do what the Negroes do and try to get to all the money. And
now let me stop there, because unfortunately he was unable to obtain the lawyers, the legal representation. He was unable to come up with a team. As far as I know, he was unsuccessful with that. And that was 10 months ago. He's been talking about this for years. And unfortunately, he never was able to reach that goal. Now, Cyberline saying he may try to pick off where RBR left out. That will be yet to be seen. But I'm here to just show content of my last interaction with him on my channel. I know for a fact that I've been on his channel several times before that and after that. I don't think I've been on his channel in a while, maybe 3 or 4 months that I haven't been on his channel, but I've seen him around. But he's a legend in the manosphere adjacent sectors, pro-black sectors. He spoke truth to power. He was very charismatic. He also was very controversial. And there were a lot of people that didn't like him. Let's just be honest about that. And so I'm not going to entertain that today, because I'm here to show respect to him and celebrate his life, celebrate the positives that I think that he brought to the table on YouTube. So with that being said, guys, I'm not going to bring anybody up. I didn't want this to be a long live stream, but I wanted to just say to create this video to honor him and his work online, and also his work in our community and everything that he could accomplish in the real world profession, as far as in the realm of media. So with that being said, guys, I hope y'all have an excellent day. I will be going live again later on today on some effery. But right now, I just wanted to talk about this. Y'all have a great day. Peace.